Some houses are homes, others are nightmares disguised as shelter. Some walls keep memories, but some absorb something else, something darker, something evil. This is not just a ghost story, this is real. A house that has swallowed lives, drenched itself in blood, and whispered unspeakable horrors into the minds of those who dared to live within its walls. 112 Ocean Avenue, Amityville, New York. A house where 6 lives were taken in one night. A house where the next family fled in terror, leaving behind everything they owned. A house where, to this day, shadows still move when no one is there. Whispers still echo through empty rooms, and an unseen presence still watches, waiting. What happened in that house? Was it haunted? Or was something far more sinister at play? Let's go back to where it all began. November 13th, 1974. A bitter cold night in Amityville. Outside, the wind howled through the trees. Inside, the DeFeo family slept. But before the sun could rise, they would all be dead. At precisely 3:15 a.m., Ronald Butch DeFeo Jr. picked up his .35 caliber Marlin rifle. He moved through the house, silent, methodical, as if something was guiding him. First, he entered his parents' bedroom. He raised the rifle. 1 shot, 2 shots. The father and mother gone. Then he moved to his brother's room. Mark and John were just children. They never stood a chance. 2 more shots. Finally, he entered his sister's room. Dawn and Allison. Their final moments frozen in time, their eyes wide with terror as their own brother pulled the trigger. 2 more shots. The house was silent, the massacre complete, but something wasn't right. None of them had moved. None of them had tried to run. No neighbors heard gunshots. No one screamed. It was as if something had held them down. Something had kept them from fighting back. And when the police arrived, Butch DeFeo gave an eerie confession. The voices told me to do it. For a year, the house sat empty, a tomb made of brick and wood. No one wanted it. No one dared step inside. Then, in December 1975, George and Kathy Lutz arrived. They saw a dream home, a stunning 6-bedroom house right on the waterfront. The price? Too good to be true. They didn't believe in ghosts. They weren't afraid of superstitions, but they should have been, because from the moment they stepped inside, the house was waiting. It started small, strange chills in certain rooms, unexplained noises in the dead of night, doors unlocking themselves. Then came the smell, a sickening, rotting stench like decayed flesh drifting through the air. They searched for the source, but there was nothing. And then the shadows came, dark figures lurking in the corners of their vision, moving when no one was there. Watching them, every night at exactly 3:15 a.m., George Lutz would wake up, a deep, unsettling sense of dread pulling him towards the boathouse. The same time Butch DeFeo had killed his family, the whispers started soon after, low, guttural, inhuman voices echoing through the walls, calling their names, laughing. Then the entity made itself known. Kathy began waking up with deep scratches across her body, as if invisible claws had raked across her skin. Their daughter, Missy, started speaking to something unseen, an imaginary friend named Jody. But Jody wasn't human. Jody was a pig with glowing red eyes. One night, George saw those very eyes, staring at him through the window, watching, unblinking. The house wasn't just haunted, it was alive. Then, the house turned violent. The walls began to drip with thick green slime, a substance no one could explain. The toilets filled with black, viscous liquid. The water ran red, like blood. And then, one night, Kathy felt something watching her. She turned and screamed. A shadowy figure stood at the foot of their bed. Black, featureless, yet radiating pure hatred. She blinked, and it was gone. But the next morning, her face was covered in deep, red gashes. It was their last night in the house. Something snapped. The air turned freezing cold. The house trembled. The whispers became screams. Furniture levitated. Doors slammed. Something unseen moved through the house with violent speed. And then they saw it. A dark mass, towering, shapeless, shifting. It had eyes, burning, glowing red. The family ran. They left everything behind. Furniture, clothes, photos, even their food still on the table. They never returned. When their story became public, people were divided. Some said it was a hoax, a publicity stunt for money. But others knew better. Even today, those who enter 112 Ocean Avenue report strange occurrences, cold spots, footsteps in empty hallways, shadows moving when no one is there, and sometimes, late at night, a whisper in the dark, a voice that says, "Get out." 112 Ocean Avenue still exists, but the address has been changed. The windows, the ones that once looked like eyes watching the town, have been remodeled. The owners refuse to speak about what happens inside, but if you stand outside, if you stare too long, you might feel something, a presence, a pair of red glowing eyes staring back at you, and if you hear a voice whispering your name,